Hey everybody, we are at another stop on our adventure through Delaware. We're stopping at Nemours Estate, which is a big estate in Wilmington, just outside of Wilmington. And it is a mansion, a French style, 18th century French style mansion that was built around, I think around 1910 for Alfred Dupon'ts' wife, his second wife at the time. So we're going to take a look at this. Check out this amazing house and some of the grounds. Tuesday through Sunday, open 10 to 5. So it looks like here is a map of the gardens, which looks like it's a pretty large area. So I got my map, and I talked to the concierge out front. She had some suggestions. There is a shuttle that holds 16 people that takes sort of a garden loop tour. We'll give you a little bit of a narration of what's going on with the gardens. You can walk around the gardens and then also go into the mansion. And I think it's mostly self-guided. There are people in there to answer questions. So here we are reaching the colonnade in the center of the main gardens area. Pierre Samuel Dupon'ts Nemours. And that's pretty impressive colonnade here. It's just beautiful along here. And we've got some more gardens and water feature reflective pool. A little bit over 100 years old. And obviously it's been maintained. Right through the colonnade here we can see the mansion out in the background. We're going to head over to that shortly. There's also a children's hospital here, right adjacent to the estate. We'll walk along the path here and start heading towards the mansion. There's the mansion up ahead. Pretty cool fountain. In the background here, we got the water tower on property. And just behind it, the modern building in the distance is the children's hospital. Oh, look at the ornate gates. Here's the map of the estate, and it says here that Alfred Dupon'ts wished that his mansion gardens and grounds would be maintained for the pleasure and benefit of the public. And so here we got a bigger map. You can see into the grounds. We entered the colonnade right about here, and it kind of circled around. We are right up here by the mansion. And here is the mansion up close. And here is our entry point. I think we've got umbrellas if you need them if it's raining. It's like a den. There's going to be a lot of dens and probably side rooms. But it looks like there are, I think, one thing said 77, something said 105 rooms. That may be including some of the side buildings. Yeah, it's pretty ornate and detailed ceiling here. And there is a huge mansion, so there's going to be a lot to explore. Almost like a painted design in the middle. This is the reception hall, and this is how it looked initially. They changed it because Mrs. Dupont didn't care for it too much. So made some alterations, made it lighter. Got rid of some of the animal heads. So I just talked to one of the ladies giving information, and she said there are 70 confirmed. There are 77 rooms. And Christmas, they decorate everything. And Christmas is going to be amazing, so may have to come back and check this out. So this is the morning room, where Mrs. Dupont would socialize with family members, friends, and women of high society in a more formal setting. Pivoting in here, oh, this is a big room. Mostly how it would have looked. And I was told to check out all the ceilings. All the ceilings have a great deal of detail and ornateness. Not as much in this room as the reception area.
The family has a live birds and bird cages and live plants and fresh cut flowers delivered here every day when they live here.
Flowers delivered every day?
Yes, they have a big greenhouse.
Oh, wow.
So, and whole yard full of flowers. So
right.
They have fresh flowers delivered.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The art on this furniture here, just beautiful. And keep hearing it, it's all the original stuff. Absolutely beautiful. And the house was occupied until 1970. So here in the music room, Mr. Dupont's influence is all about this piano. Apparently in 1905, the family acquired it in 1908, and during Christmas time, somebody comes in and plays it. And it was a gilded and gold leaf, much like a lot of the room and the ceilings are. And there's the lyre that Mr. Dupont used to play. Yeah, I'm told that everything has been authenticated. It's all original. And before the third wife passed away, they prepared everything. They were ready for this to be put in a trust so that this could be enjoyed by the public. Put in a trust so that the children's hospital could be built. And they had a lot of foresight to keep this place going, so they were able to authenticate everything as original. And the artwork is all original by famous painters. And they were able to authenticate everything, and they kept things well maintained. So it's pretty impressive that they've been able to keep this thing as it is with so many original pieces. Here's the den that we saw when we first came in the entrance, right around the corner there. The typewriter here had the capability to type in two colors, black and red. 1926. They had offices downstairs, but they preferred to stay up here when they were writing letters. We're here to the right of the drawing, or the writing room. In a similarly decorated room, but a little bit larger, is going to be this room, which is the library. A dark feel to it, kind of like the reception area originally had before Mrs. Dupont lightened the things up. But very, very beautiful. I was told, always look at the ceilings because they are impressive and detailed, and this ceiling is no different. So it's just amazing how everything is original. They said pretty much everything that's here. That chandelier is amazing.
That may have come from the Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna.
Oh, wow.
Positive, but that's the likely answer, but we don't know for sure. What's the original? Yeah, that's the oldest photograph in the room.
Okay.
So like any other house, they just remodeled rooms and added and took out older things and put in newer things, better
right.
things, something that like a little bit better.
Can extend to 24 feet. Wow.
There's a photograph in the hallway behind me of 74 people sitting in here for a wedding dinner.
Once again, the ceiling, a lot of detail and fairly ornate.
Actually, which makes it back to the photograph.
Coming into the butler's pantry here. And here they would issue assignments, manage the wine cellar, and supervise the servants. This is also functioned as a buffer between the dining room and the kitchen. So there'd be some original actual dining pieces and equipment. I think a warming oven of some sort. Yeah, icebox and refrigeration in here. This is going to be the kitchen in here. Nice big kitchen.
Good afternoon. How you doing, sir?
As in 1919, the staff wing was doubled in size, which changed some configurations and added and enlarged some rooms, including the kitchen. Some rules for the kitchen. Duties of the second cook. And duties of the kitchen maid. And this is dated. This is the shopping marketing list, or what was issued from November 23rd, 1937. And this would be the servants' dining room. A little less ornate. It looks like they've identified, or they're working to identify all the maids, nurses, cooks, housemen, and others that worked in the house between 1910 and 1970, and hoping to feature more information about them in the near future. That's when they come out of the servants' dining area. Turn the corner here. Here's the servants' sitting room. Looks like they've got a Victrola of sorts. And this is a Columbia brand. So when they did their rehab in 1919, they changed some configuration, add a larger dining room for the servants and this sitting room. Like the dining room, they don't have a photograph of what it looked like when the Duponts lived here. Well, you see it is based on an inventory completed in 1923. And we're going to head upstairs here in a minute. But first, let's look at the washroom. This would have been one of the washrooms in the house. And right outside here is the stairs going up. But first, let's head down the stairs. I hear there's some interesting things in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So off to the right of that hallway here is the dark room. And I love technology, and photography was an interest. So as they would develop their own photos in here, they got sinks, and there's some equipment. And they actually have a list of what everything is. Folding pocket cameras, old photo equipment. So in here, this closed off, but you can see this is where they would have made and stored their ice in here. And they also kept their furs in here so that they would keep them all nice, in nice condition.
The other pump was very much into exercise.
Right.
And trying to lead a healthy lifestyle. And so he would, this is part of his regimen. And here,
Right.
you see the forerunner of the modern day sauna. Inside there's a stool where you would sit.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see it.
Bulbs are going to heat you up, make you sweat. Well, so when you do close this, the only thing sticking out is your head. And the goal is to make you sweat so you can sweat out toxins and anything poisonous in your body. Sun lamp there, so if you want to get sun, sit in a chair, relax while you get some sun. Wooden weights over there. They didn't have the iron, but they had wooden. You pump iron. He would swim also. That fountain, the fountain out front,
Right.
was initially a swimming pool. They changed it over to a fountain of ice.
Shuffleboard here, long, really long. I've seen some small, versions of this, for, a home or something but they're like a third of the size, just a little, little thing. Nothing like this. bowling alley.
And if you want to sit on the bench or the chairs, you can do that.
Okay.
But this is where we show home movies, Hollywood movies. That's the original movie projector that you see up there on the right.
Oh, wow.
And the screen that you pull down to show the movies.
So here's the shuffleboard pieces.
Good.
So there's a score sheet there. So you can zoom in on that. But you can see here's the score sheet, Brunswick made. And it was just telling me that they would send a kid down to the end and climb up on the shelf, reset the pins. You got a duck pin on the left, smaller pins, and you got 10 pin on the right. And they would send the balls back in return. And then this is your movie projector to show the movies. And right here with the shuffleboard, you also got seats for everybody to watch the movies. Here's a closer look at the manufacturing information here for the bowling alley. State regulation bowling alleys.
The ship that you see there was built from scratch by Dupon'ts son, Alfred Victor. He built it with his wife and a friend. He got the diagram from the Navy and built it from scratch, hand carved.
Wow, hand carved.
Yes, hand carved.
Wow.
It takes 68 flashlight batteries. One of the propellers would work. The portholes would all light up, and it could actually sail. It could act on water. It could actually run for about 10 minutes. That was the USS Idaho. He served on Alfred Victor, AI's son, served on that ship during World War I.
And here's the original elevator. Small, but means you don't need to use a lot of people. Button for each floor. Opposite of the elevator is the billiards and pool room. One table of each, kind of like the 10 pin and duck pin. And ashtrays for the cigar smokers. Bench seating while you wait. And Mr. Dupon't's gun collection. And here's Mr. Dupon't's basement office. I showed you the one upstairs that they said they liked to write letters in and stuff, but here was his basement office. He was a war memorabilia collector, so lots of equipment and pieces and helmets. And I go back upstairs. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, a detailed ceiling. Railing. Ornate railing. And a stained glass window here that is quite lovely. Guest wing here. North back bedroom. And this is the north front room. These are pretty beautiful guest rooms. Look at the previous room, this room, and the next room would be part of a 3-room suite. And have visiting families stay in these 3 rooms. So all over the place they've got these fun facts. So this fun fact says that the Duchess of Northumberland was a friend of Jessie Dupont. She visited Nemours in 1956 and stayed in the suite. She was a mistress of the robes to the Queen Mother, the mother of England's recently departed Queen Elizabeth. So there's a second room of the suite. And they would have the third room here, as well as a bathroom for the guests of the suites. So this is the blue room, and the daybed allowed to be used as a sitting room in the three-room suite. Here's a fun fact. Queen Victoria is credited with starting the Western world's white wedding dress trend in 1840. Before then, they simply wore their best dress. A gorgeous view of the gardens from the house. So apparently, originally, that would have been the pool. But at some point in the history, it was converted into the fountain that it is today. And this is the gold room. Best view of the house. It was the favorite room of Elsie, Jessie Dupont's sister, when she visited. And this is Mr. Dupont's bathroom. The wall-mounted pressure gauges regulated the warm water and air used to treat an inner ear condition that caused him hearing loss, which must have been very traumatizing considering his love of music.
But I like guilt.
That's amazing.
One of the only rooms without golden guilt.
Yeah, it's everywhere else.
Yeah, it is. The guys kind of got what they wanted.
So because Mr. Dupont was deaf by the time he was 40, he would use this, put it at one end in his ear, and somebody could talk into it. You could kind of hear what they're saying. He probably would have been able to hear these days, but not at the time. This is a sitting room. I guess we were in the sitting room, and now here's his bedroom. A lot of this is wide open. It's very, very cool to see. Used to places that everything's roped off and you can't look at it, but so much of this is open. They just have some signs and some ropes and stuff. They don't want you sitting. Fun fact: it says most beds in the same era were made like this one. Most what could consider a double bed these days. King and queen size beds were not popularized until the 60s. So come check out the view beyond this room here. And some of the French gardens here. Oh wow, this is cool. I have not walked out to this area of the gardens yet. And see Mrs. Dupont's sitting room in here. Used it throughout the day. She usually ate breakfast, morning paper, and answered letters. In the afternoon, she would summon the butler to draw up guest lists, discuss plans for dinner parties, and confer about the business of the home. And one of her greatest accomplishments was to build the children's hospital next door, as per Alfred's wish. It was originally known as the Alfred I. Dupont Institute, and now it's the Nemours Alfred I. Dupont Hospital for Children. Mrs. Dupont's bathroom. Nice size. And a big shower pod. This bathroom features all the luxuries of the most modern 1910 era spa. So this Venetian room was originally a sitting room when Nemours was first built. Alfred Dupon't, who was Alfred's second wife, brought home their new adopted daughter, and it became Denise's bedroom. So this is the green room. And when Denise Dupon't was young, this bedroom was used by her governess when she was here off and on during her early years. Teenager became Denise's bedroom, and the adjoining room became a sitting room. Masks were required inside there, so I wore a mask, but that was pretty impressive inside. And as you can see right here behind me, the estate is just beautiful. Maybe take a little bit more look around the grounds before we call it a day. Down this way, there's just benches and some sort of mulchy paths, just all sorts of places where you can come in the gardens and just sort of relax, enjoy some peace and quiet. Right through the tree here, there's some deer.